And is it accurate that Democrat Senator John Fetterman has repeatedly said this is a Democrat shutdown caused by Chuck Schumer and the Democrats?
Yeah, and I find it ironic that my Democrat colleagues will go to lobbyist dinners tonight, which they get fed steak, while people in their own constituents in their own states will not know where to get money to buy their groceries, or in the case of SNAP recipients, not be able to buy basic goods.
Okay, did you just see that? That was Senator Ted Cruz putting cold, hard, verifiable facts on the table in public, on the record, and daring anyone to contradict him. And nobody did. Not a single Democrat showed up to push back. Not one. Before we dive in, I want to be upfront. I'm going to give you my honest take on everything that happened in that chamber. We're going to talk about who's really responsible for this shutdown, the real people being hurt by it, and what it means when a senior Democratic aide is quoted saying this won't end until planes start falling from the sky. Yeah, we're going there. If you're new here, welcome. Hit subscribe, because this is exactly what we do here. No spin, just real talk about what's actually happening in Washington. And if you're already part of the family, drop a comment below. Did Cruz nail it, or am I missing something? I want to hear from you. All right, go watch the full video. I'll see you on the other side.
Well, if Senator Moreno would be open perhaps to a couple of questions, just to clarify the record, because we had a bit of Washington play acting just a moment ago. Senator Moreno, is it accurate that you and virtually every other Republican have voted 14 times to reopen the government?
We voted 14 times to end debate so that we could actually vote to open the government, yes.
And is it accurate that Senator Rosen and virtually every other Democrat has voted 14 times to keep the government closed?
Yes, her colleague from Nevada has bravely fought Chuck Schumer and has voted to open the government. So has John Fetterman and Angus King from Maine. So I applaud 3 Democrats for actually having the decency, the humanity, to be able to pay government workers, pay our military, provide Head Start, provide SNAP benefits.
And is it accurate that Democrat Senator John Fetterman has repeatedly said this is a Democrat shutdown caused by Chuck Schumer and the Democrats?
Yeah, and I find it ironic that my Democrat colleagues will go to lobbyist dinners tonight, which they get fed steak, while people in their own constituents in their own states will not know where to get money to buy their groceries, or in the case of SNAP recipients, not be able to buy basic goods.
Is it also accurate that during the Biden presidency, 13 times Republicans worked with Democrats to pass a clean continuing resolution?
You would know better, Chairman, but I don't think there's ever been a time in U.S. history where a clean continuing resolution has been voted down by either party. And is it accurate as well that CNN has fact-checked multiple Democrats who've insisted this is not a clean CR, and CNN, sometimes called the Clinton News Network, sometimes called the Communist News Network, has fact-checked the Democrats and said, no, this is in fact a clean CR that your party is voting against? Yes, although I do wonder whether they've actually read the legislation, because that evidently is something that's optional. But I would assume if they have read it or took the time to read it, they'd realize it's their budget that they passed, and they're blocking this through a procedural technicality that prohibits us from actually taking a vote to reopen the government.
The record will reflect that every one of the questions we just engaged in is objectively true, and it says something that not a single Democrat is here to contest it, that their approach to this is instead to scream and yell while consistently voting to keep the government shut down and to deny pay to thousands of federal workers, including, within this committee's jurisdiction, some 50,000 TSA agents who are going to work right now. They missed their last paycheck. They're not being paid, including some 14,000 air traffic controllers who are going to work right now. They're not being paid. And the consequence, we are seeing delays at airports all across the country. We are seeing thousands of delays. We are seeing thousands of flight cancellations. We are seeing ground stops in major airports. And I would note one senior Democrat aide told Politico this shutdown will continue until planes start falling from the sky. For a committee with jurisdiction over aviation safety, that is a horrifying statement. And yet, for our Democrat colleagues, apparently they agree with those sentiments. I have 28 letters of support from various organizations for the nominations of Mr. McCormick, Mr. Edwards, and Mr. Morse. I ask unanimous consent that these letters be inserted into the hearing record. Without objection, so ordered. Senators will have until the close of business on November 7th to submit questions for the record. The nominees will have until the close of business on November 10th to respond to those questions.
This concludes today's hearing. The committee stands adjourned.
Welcome back. And honestly, the more I watch that exchange, the more it gets to me. Because this isn't political theater. This is real life affecting real people. Let's start with what Cruz actually did in that room. He didn't rant. He asked structured, factual questions and let Senator Moreno answer them one by one, like a lawyer laying out evidence before a jury. And what was that evidence? Republicans voted 14 times to end debate and move toward reopening the government. 14 times. And 14 times Democrats blocked it. That's not a talking point. That was confirmed on the record by a sitting senator. If Democrats had a counter-argument, that was their moment. The room was right there. They didn't show up. Here's what really gets me, though. During the Biden years, Republicans crossed the aisle 13 times to pass clean continuing resolutions. 13 times. You didn't hear much about Republican obstruction back then, did you? Because there wasn't any. They did the job. And now that the tables have turned, Democrats won't extend that same basic courtesy, yet somehow Republicans are still the obstructionists. The hypocrisy is hard to ignore. Then there's the CNN moment. Look, I had to laugh at the Clinton News Network quip. But beyond the joke, the substance matters. CNN fact-checked the Democrats and confirmed this is a clean CR, essentially the same budget their own party already passed. And Democrats are still voting against it. So at this point, it's not even about policy. It's about Chuck Schumer making a calculated decision that letting the shutdown drag on somehow benefits him politically. And the people paying the price for that calculation are ordinary Americans. Take the 50,000 TSA agents showing up to work every day without a paycheck. These are working-class people doing one of the most thankless jobs in the country, going home with nothing. Not because of some grand policy disagreement, but because of a procedural technicality Democrats are hiding behind. And then there are the 14,000 air traffic controllers. The people keeping planes in the sky. They're stressed, they're worried about their families, and they're not being paid. We're already seeing the fallout. Delays, cancellations, ground stops at major airports. This isn't abstract anymore. It's hitting people right now. But the moment that stuck with me most was the quote from a senior Democratic aide to Politico. This shutdown will continue until planes start falling from the sky. A senior aide said that out loud. They are willing to let the aviation system deteriorate to the point of catastrophe as a political bargaining chip. For a committee with direct jurisdiction over aviation safety, that isn't just irresponsible. It's inexcusable. And credit where it's due. Fetterman, Angus King, and the Nevada senator broke ranks and voted to reopen the government. That takes real courage when Schumer is calling the shots. Fetterman in particular has been straight up about it, calling this exactly what it is, a Democrat shutdown. That kind of honesty deserves recognition regardless of party. What Cruz did in that hearing room was simple. He said, here are the facts, here is the record, here is the human cost. Now explain yourselves. And the silence from the other side said everything. Some of these senators are going to lobbyist dinners tonight, while their own constituents don't know how they're buying groceries this week. That's not governance. That's contempt for the people they were elected to serve. Let me know in the comments what you think. Will the pressure eventually force Democrats to fold? Or is Schumer holding the line no matter the cost? I'd love to know where you stand. If this was useful, like the video, share it with someone who needs to see it, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. I'll see you in the next one.